HBO Max is on fire.
Hold on. Is my mic muted now? Is it working? It was. I thought for sure it was working earlier. But thanks, David Studio, for letting me know that in the chat there. Very, very, very well appreciated. And I don't know why my mic wasn't working. So basically what I was saying was, if any of you guys watch cartoons or have watched cartoons before, there is pandemonium going on in the world of animation right now. Everyone is panicking. Everyone is screaming, shouting, and crying and weeping, especially people who were born after 1998. And if you're not aware of this, you probably are, but if you're not aware of this, here's the reason why. We have a headline from Polygon here, which is Infinity Train, Summer Camp Island, and other shows wiped from HBO Max. Here's how you can still watch them. We even have this video queued up here that I want to react to. But check this out. HBO Max removed 36 shows and movies from its platform, including a lot of kids and family content, such as Sesame Street spinoff, The Not Too Late Show with Elmo, which is more like a Tonight Show spinoff or a Last Week Tonight Show spinoff than anything. But here's the thing: the creators. Okay, here's the thing. This is really where people started to get like insanely upset. The creators behind these shows were blindsided by this decision and justifiably upset. Julia Pott, creator of fantasy slice of life series Summer Camp Island, a show that I really, really love, tweeted about the removal. So we have all of this panicking here. We have a lot here going on, but people either aren't asking the right questions or they don't really understand the totality of the situation. We have something else here. Summer Camp Island creator reacts to HBO Max's decision to pull the series, quote, like we were nothing. Let's see here. And she's really upset. I think she seems to be the most upset content creator who had created content for HBO Max. We worked for 5 years to make 100 episodes of animation, Pot wrote on Twitter. We worked late into the night. We let ourselves go. We were a family of hard-working artists who wanted to make something beautiful, and HBO Max just pulled them all like we were nothing. Animation is not nothing. Now, it is true to these people's credits, and I did some research. I don't have the evidence here with me, but it is true that a lot of these people were fairly blindsided because how this was supposed to like inevitably happen. But it was just not supposed to happen now. It was supposed to happen like a week later. And so all these content creators are really upset. They feel betrayed by, what is it, Warner Max Discovery Company or whatever they're calling themselves now. They feel betrayed, and rightfully so, because this content is getting removed without a proper time to sort of even hype up the content's removal. So they're like, well, what are you guys doing? Why are you guys doing this? Well, that's not all that there is to the story, because the article there was from August 18th. Well, we have another headline from August 18th. HBO Max is offering 30% off a 1-year subscription for new and returning subscribers. As they say, big before the House Dragon. Nobody cares about the House Dragon. Actually, no, a lot of people do care about that. That's also kind of interesting. But here's the thing. So they're cutting down the same day that they're getting rid of all these shows, right? They're cutting their subscription by 30%. 30%. Now, why could this be? Well, it says here that, well, what's this? HBO Max and Discovery Plus are coming up with their own streaming service. And in the way that this is worded, I think this kind of leans into what's closer to the reality. But, I mean, let's look at this. Look at this headline here. HBO Max will be replaced next year by a new service combined with Discovery Plus. A new app is coming in the summer of 2023. So, and then we have, all this stuff. You can read this article. It's pretty short. I don't know if you guys who are watching on YouTube have the attention span to want me to read through this. But we have a little bit more. Infinity Train has topped the iTunes charts following the Warner Brothers HBO Max purge. We also have here Cartoon Network saves canceled HBO Max show. And so I think this is talking about Some Camp Island, right? Season 6 of the show will premiere on Cartoon Network sometime in late 2022. Now, I know I threw a whole lot of things at you, right? And you're probably thinking, why did you read all these random articles? Well, they all do tie in together pretty closely. So a lot of people, especially the content creators, are very upset about these shows getting kicked off of HBO Max. And again, like I said, rightfully so, because they were told there were certain things going to happen with their shows, and then they just changed their mind, kind of flat out lied to them in front of their face about what was going to happen to their own shows. That can be a little bit frustrating. However, from a consumer perspective, a lot of people were like, these shows are gone forever. We're never going to be able to watch these shows. Well, there are a couple of things to take note, and that's kind of what you saw from those headlines. First of all, you have to remember that Discovery is kind of merging with Warner Brothers. They're doing a little thing. They're having a little wedding. They're getting together and combining their assets. They are going to be morphing like Voltron to create something bigger and something new. Now, what is this thing that's going to be new? Well, this new thing is going to be another streaming service, and that's just from the consumer side. This is going to be a new streaming service that is going to allow you to access all the stuff from HBO and from Warner, hopefully, in addition to all the stuff from Discovery and Discovery Plus and all the assets that they own. Now, why in the world you wouldn't just take a streaming service like HBO Max that has a stellar reputation and just add the Discovery stuff to it? I don't understand, but I mean, these people are very rich executives. I mean, we're not supposed to exactly agree with or understand all of the moves that they make from a corporate perspective because we can't even really relate to them, basically. But that's neither here nor there. The point being, they're not just killing these shows off to make them not exist anymore. They're not trying to hide them. This is not they're trying to burn evidence that these shows ever existed. What's really going on with these shows is that there's a merger. They're making a new streaming service, and the way a lot of these rights work is they do tend to be timed. They tend to expire at a certain point in time. And so if there's a gap between when the subscription the agreement ends and when the streaming service is coming out, if they're going to sign a deal to put it out on streaming somewhere else, they're going to have to put it in a narrow window. And sometimes these companies don't feel like it's worth kind of make a deal that's so small that kind of will give a negligible amount of revenue. So there it can be kind of understanding. It could kind of make sense why they wouldn't just go out and put it on streaming, so that's all on streaming all the time. Also, of course, you have the thing of, well, if it's gone from streaming for a little bit, and then you announce a new streaming service that has that thing instead of shuffling it over to Hulu or something, then that builds some anticipation. And so a lot of consumers are like, oh, all our shows are going to be gone. What can we do? Y'all can just buy the stuff on iTunes. And for some of those shows, not all of them, probably not most of them at this point, because these shows are kind of new. For a lot of these shows, you can also go to go online on Amazon or eBay and buy the DVDs. You can buy the Blu-rays for some of them. So don't worry that these shows are gone. First of all, they're all coming back. They're all coming back in 2023. We saw that with the headline there, basically. And they're all gonna be available to watch for now anyways, because you could just get it on iTunes. As soon as this happened, Infinity Train was taking over the entire iTunes chart for all TV seasons. Not certain genres, for all TV seasons. You can still watch the stuff you want to watch. And if you can't watch it, let's say you're too poor to afford iTunes, but somehow can afford HBO Max, you are going to be able to watch this on a streaming service in the near future, in less than a year, most likely. So I would just tell everyone, don't panic except for the executives, because you made all of your content creators mad. So, good luck to sticking to your Cartoonito guns there, Warner Brothers. But that's all that I have on this. I just thought this was kind of interesting, and I thought the panic was very, very fascinating, considering that nobody was considering the corporate structure and how everything is changing with this. But anyways, yeah. Basically, I wanted to sit down and kind of talk about that, because I like having I like looking into the camera and like kind of talking and I thought it was worth having, like, making like this type of dialogue, this type of video. That was basically just me doing a one take video, basically. So sorry for everybody in the chat. I didn't read your stuff links. As I put some requests in the Discord. Are they YTPs? If they're not YTPs, I'll watch them. Let me see. Because I do like reacting to stuff, but I don't think I'm gonna watch YTPs right now. Oh, this is not a YTP. It's kind of interesting. I will react to this after the video I'm gonna react to here. Because I have one video that I want to react to. Let's see here. So I know I talked about this before, but here we have Alpha J talking about how HBO Max imploded seemingly overnight. Let's see. Oh, it's your first YTP? Oh, okay, I'll watch it then. I'll watch it. I think it's because it's your first YTP, LenXL, I'm going to watch it. Okay, but here we go. Here's some more panic over HBO Max and Cartoon Network content.
HBO Max is on fire. I'm sorry, I meant HBO Max is burning to the ground before our very eyes. Deadline reports that HBO Max is pulling a lot of titles from its service, and we can look through here: Aquaman, Close Enough, Dodo, Elliot from Earth.
Oh, I'm surprised that they're pulling some of the non-Cartoon Network stuff. I thought this was mostly Cartoon Network fire sale.
The Fungies, Infinity Train, Mao Mao, Mighty Magic Swords, OKKO, Pac-Man, Squish, Summer Camp Island, Tig and Seek, Uncle Grandpa, Victor and Valentino.
These are a lot of good shows. One thing I like about this, though, is that it reminds me how good the content on Cartoon Network used to be, because now they're just ruining with just like Cartoonito content, and like the most engaging of which is like either Teen Titans Go or Apple and Onion. It's very close. No, it's not. Apple and Onion's probably the best show they have going right now.
Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs, and so many more. Quote, as we work towards bringing our content catalogs together under one platform, we will be making changes to the content offering available on both HBO Max and Discovery Plus.
Wait a minute. So they came out and said that this is because they're working on a new streaming service and people still got mad? What?
Will include the removal of some content from both platforms, the company said. At the same time, we're already starting to bring our content catalogs together, like the launch of the new CNN Originals Hub on Discovery Plus.
Oh, they're making a CNN section. I think that's actually a smart move. Hold on, I'll be right back. But I think that's a smart move. By the way, I got the mini fridge back from my campus, so I'll be able to have my drinks a little bit chilled here. But that, I think, honestly, that makes it a little bit crazier. It's cool that they're having the HBO. It's cool that they're having the CNN Originals Hub, because I think that a service where you can watch, stuff from cable news or stuff from cable news on demand, I think is going to be like kind of the future of cable news shows, like the opinion stuff. We see Fox News doing this actually with Fox Nation, and I think that's really smart. MSNBC needs to find a way to do this. CNN Originals Hub actually makes way more sense than doing CNN Plus or whatever, because I think CNN Plus is kind of a niche thing, but it definitely is something that would work as an add-on to something you already have. Like, you're already paying $10 a month for Discovery Plus. Pay $2 for CNN. If you happen to think it's worth that much.
and a curated collection of Magnolia Network content coming soon to HBO Max. Mind you, this is in addition
What's
to about
Magnolia
2 weeks
content?
ago when I made a community post talking about the Batgirl movie and the Scoob movie being cancelled and about 70% of HBO Max's development staff being laid off. So why is all of this
I
happening?
mean, that's not bad though, because a lot of these companies tend to be bloated. This is actually probably the best thing. Like, I feel like of all the production and the streaming companies, Warner Brothers has actually been making the best moves possible. So it's not I would not be upset by them making the company a little bit leaner, to be honest.
Happening so soon?
What is this? Why are they just showing like B-roll footage?
So, as a few sources report, Warner Bros. And Discovery are having a merger, being named Warner Bros. Discovery Inc., quite unique, and
Are they actually covering it? I was not expecting them to cover it because most people have just been acting as if all of this stuff is going to be gone and they're not going to be able to like access it like ever again. But it looks like he's actually going to go through and explain exactly what's happening here, which is really cool. And this is exactly what people need to see.
will fuse their services together in approximately 2023. And to those savvy, this comes 5 to 6 years after telecommunications giant AT&T would have merged with Time Warner, as it was called at the time. Now it's called Warner Media. And to get to the point, it has been reported that the merger was not viewed as a success on AT&T's end. Quote, in many quarters, the news is being seen as AT&T admitting defeat after an ill-fated attempt to bring content and distribution together. Earlier this year, AT&T also struck a deal to carve out its satellite businesses, DirecTV, at a significant loss from the 2015 purchase price.
AT&T died after they lost their exclusivity deal with iPhones.
Similarly, it would go on to say,
Yo, remember when like you had to have AT&T to have an iPhone if you wanted to have phone service?
Another telecom giant, Verizon, threw in a towel on its content efforts as well, agreeing to sell Yahoo and AOL for $5 billion. So basically, to lick their wounds of the whole mess, the spinoff of Time Warner and AT&T means that AT&T is now out of the entertainment arms race. However, it was
I didn't know that part of this is AT&T leaving? What? I didn't know that.
reported that AT&T would spin off Time Warner and Discovery to create this standalone media company, which apparently starts out $55 billion in debt and will be spending more to compete. And I want you to keep that number in mind for later. Quote, we are now in a world where relevance and future success will be tied to the greater scale and growth globally, Stanky said in a memo to Warner Media staffers.
Because one thing is, I don't particularly mind that a lot of content that you see on these streaming services is American-centric, particularly because I am an American and also I'm a Republican, so I think that has something to do with it too. But at the same time, you go to these other streaming services or you watch like content that's made in like foreign lands, and a lot of it's still like pretty good. Like a lot of people enjoy Doctor Who, Luther, Sherlock are shows that are really great that I plan on buying them on Blu-ray sometime soon. So it is nice to see them sort of like go with a globalization thing, because part of me wonders like, hey, you know, we watch, you know, Rick and Morty in America, but like what are they watching in France right now, you know?
To be one of the best global media companies requires not only broad and deep creative assets, but an investor base and access to capital to make it happen. The decision to combine Warner Media with Discovery is rooted in this conclusion. It was stated that Discovery and Warner currently spend a total of $20 billion a year on content, and that Netflix plans to spend $17 billion on content.
That's crazy considering the fact that Netflix's money seems like way more wasted on their content than Warner. Now, granted, Warner's content is good. Netflix makes enough bad content to like fill like 3 different 24/7 boomer channels on cable TV. Now, granted, Netflix also has like some great shows, but it's just like the ratio of good shows to bad shows is pretty ridiculous on Netflix.
Content this year, so basically that they're spending more. So to put it in simpler terms, it didn't work out for AT&T, but it may work out if Discovery and Warner Media basically create their own fusion together and become a media powerhouse together away from AT&T.
Fusion is just a cheap.
Oh yes, that's one thing I saw. If you guys
media-
watch the podcast Cord Killers, or if you don't watch the podcast Cord Killers, I would highly recommend checking that out. This seemed to be the most interesting thing about this merger for me. You have HBO Max and Discovery Plus, 2 very different audiences, but if you combine them, you pretty much have every single audience that watches TV, period. Male skew on HBO Max, female skew on Discovery Plus. Scripted on HBO Max, unscripted on Discovery Plus. Lean in on HBO Max, lean back on Discovery Plus. Appointment viewing on HBO Max, comfort viewing on Discovery Plus. Home of fandoms on HBO Max, and home of genredoms on Discovery Plus. A little granted, with all the TNT content on HBO Max, I would argue that if you are into like specific genres that are scripted, HBO Max is good for you. But if you combine these two, like, this is like a mommy and a daddy. Like, this is like everything that you would need. Like, this is great.
Be a powerhouse together away from AT&T.
Fusion is just a cheap tactic to make weak gems stronger.
Variety writes, at the end of the day, putting all the content together was the only way we saw to make this a viable business. Bringing HBO Max and Discovery Plus together is aimed at cutting churn so that there's something for everyone in the household, he said. So going back to the $55 billion in debt, and I know no one came for a math lesson, but when you look at the earning reports, a lot of the loss Warner Bros. Discovery Inc. had was because, and I do not know how to pronounce this word, amortization of intangibles.
Amortization?
Structuring and other charges, and transaction integration expenses. Now, I bring this up because this is probably the reason why a lot of shows and assets were either canceled or written off earlier this year. Now, in an article from Slash Film,
and that stinks because there were shows like Close Enough that people said were pretty good. I was surprised to see that show get canceled.
the company has written off $825 million off in the second quarter of this year, and if you don't know, the assets that can be concluded as a tax write-off includes content impairments, the article stated, for projects that were already in production and development write-offs for titles that were in early stages. Mind you, this doesn't appear to count Scoob and Batgirl, but obviously I'm an outsider so I don't know. But this is all to say that the new company service is financially in a hole, despite being #1 in so many areas, and decides to cut off shows that weren't performing well to focus on what they deem quality shows that will help the new streaming service to be, quote, profitable in the United States in 2024, and for its global streaming segment to generate $1 billion in revenue by 2025. This is
Now, one thing I'd like to know is, if you guys in the comments of the live chat, do you guys think that this is a good idea? Because yes, they are #1, but they're trying to, you know, they see this really big financial issue that is, you know, it's not imminent, but it's definitely like gonna show up in the future. So they want to like mitigate this by cutting costs. Now I'm worried that this may cause them to lose that #1 spot. But do you guys think that it's worth it for the money aspect? Because, you know, if you cut the costs enough, you'll lose, market share if you keep on canceling all your shows, of course. But at the same time, if you don't cut your costs and keep on holding on to that #1 spot, that could leave you in the same situation that Netflix is left in right now, where Netflix is kind of down in the dumps because they are bleeding money. They're out of venture capital finances, and so now they are doing everything they can to squeeze money out of the consumers, whether that's, making the service cost more money and then putting in ads or just making it more expensive without ads.
This is most likely what led into all of the shows being taken away because someone or some people have deemed it not to be worth it in the grand scheme of this media arms race. My good friend Crit has assembled this list here that I'll have on the screen, and apart from a few shows, every show is still available for digital purchase, which means that it's not completely off the internet. It's just that a lot of shows aren't available to stream. Shows like Dodo and Odo.
Now that's not entirely true. If you guys have the Apple TV Plus app, you'll be able to watch anything that you buy on iTunes. Just buy the content on your computer first, and then you'll log into your log into the same account you use for iTunes in Apple TV Plus, and you'll be able to stream it on your TV.
The former name being ironic here, do not appear to have any other way to view them and thus are extinct, or as we would label it, lost media. Leah of Toon Rins, a cool creator that you guys should check out, tweeted out, fun fact, the only way to watch book 3 and 4 of Infinity Train will now be through digital purchase on Amazon or piracy, because unlike books 1 and 2, 3 and 4 do not have DVDs.
And that's what annoys me the most, and that's one thing I love about having physical media. If you have physical media, no one can really take that away from you. you know, unless it was like, I thought I had it all together, because you know, you have it physically, and that's why I like having DVDs. I like ripping DVDs, because then, I mean, it is digital, but I have it on my own like server, so where I could stream it on Plex. Now, if you buy it on Amazon or you buy it on iTunes, then technically they can arbitrarily remove it. Now, I've never seen content get permanently removed from iTunes. I think I heard once in the early 2000s that The Office was briefly unavailable for purchase on iTunes, but they quickly brought it back. But, you know, that is also something to consider there, is that some of this stuff has some transients to it.
And a lot of these other shows don't have any at all and just became lost media. Make it make sense. The merger doesn't seem to affect Craig of the Creek, Teen Titans Go, We Baby Bears, or the Gumball Movie, which are all current shows and projects that Cartoon Network has.
I feel like they're focusing on a lot of stuff that's currently airing on Cartoon Network, but I don't know. In like mainland's like main Cartoon Network, not Cartoon Toonito stuff, which I think that like I can definitely see Elliot from Earth, you know, fitting inside of.
And I suppose now that I've dumped a lot of news on you, my commentary on this, my biggest question, how much money does it cost to keep these shows on a streaming service? Now, I'm not a business expert or even a streaming service expert, but it does appear that the only cost these things should have, just off the top of my head, is that these shows would have to be in a server to be reached at anyone's home and devices.
I think that they're lying when they're saying that they're removing the stuff from the servers to save money, because that's absolutely ridiculous.
When you get HBO Max, when you subscribe to HBO Max, you're not downloading terabytes of shows. You're purchasing the access to these shows, which are on servers, and I wouldn't imagine it's to cost that much.
Okay, so like as someone who, I have my own small servers, I know a little bit about like what hosting stuff is like. Here's where costs and servers come into play. You buy a server, it has a certain amount of space, right? Okay, you throw all your stuff on the server. Now, where the cost comes in is when you want to add something to it, because I ran into this with my Plex server. I'm running out of space. I'm running out of space on the external drive that like is housing all my content. So I had to figure. I found out that, like, you know, I was ripping the full quality version of the DVDs and Blu-rays, on top of, for some of them, having my own converted export of it. So it was, I had duplicates of files, and I had files that were way bigger than they needed to be. Now I'm going through and I'm compressing a lot of my content with my new compression setup. It takes files that are like really big and chops them down to a third of the original size. That's neither here nor there, but I'm just saying cost comes into play when hosting a server when two things are increasing. One, you're trying to host more things on the server, or two, you are preparing for an influx of users. I don't really see either of those things happening. I think they're kind of just lying when they're saying, hey, you know, getting rid of 6 seasons of a cartoon show people like watching will save us money. Like, no.
And to keep the train rolling on bad news, it appears that this streaming service might be a higher price than one would pay for either or, and that means for a lot of us, at least the ones who pay, we will be paying for a bunch of Discovery Core, and that means...
What show was that? That was one of those Cartoon Network shorts that was really good but didn't get picked up.
For a lot of us, at least the ones who pay, we will be paying for a bunch of Discovery content that we didn't ask for. Now, some creators have spoken out about this, such as Julia Pott of Summer Camp Island. Quote, "We worked for 5 years to make 100 episodes of animation. We worked late into the night. We let ourselves go. We were a family of hardworking artists who wanted to make something beautiful." And
by the way, the production on this video by Alpha J is like insane. Like, this is like really, really good.
HBO Max just pulled them all, like we were nothing. Animation is not nothing, and we worked through the pandemic to make 20 linear episodes that are our most beautiful work yet. I cannot wait for you to see them. You will see them. I will not rest. And what she's referring to here is season 5 of Summer Camp Island potentially not being released and thus becoming lost media. Ian Jones-Cordy of OK...
No, it's gonna be released. I think that what she was saying there was that if they don't release it officially, she's gonna like release it like illegally on through piracy. But now that I'm thinking more about it and I've seen those other headlines after doing some more research, I really do think that they're just gonna throw it on the new streaming service.
KO creation had a more comical take. They were moving Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. When you think about it, we never stood a chance. However, I'm sure that a lot of creators and a lot of staff of these shows are affected by this major loss. So basically, as far as I know, this comes down to AT&T not seeing streaming and entertainment as a long-term valuable investment, which led into HBO Max and Discovery wanting to compete with Netflix, Amazon, and Disney, which led to a giant initial financial loss because of merger fees and thus the company being in debt, which led into the ruthless cut of shows, which when you think about how a lot of companies view animation,
I don't think that's what it is. I think what it is a hasty move to speed up the creation of the new streaming service. They're gonna get rid of these shows for whatever reason. I don't know why they're getting rid of these shows now instead of just waiting until the new streaming service comes out. I don't know if it's a deals thing. It doesn't make sense if it was a deals thing because this is all content on their own streaming service, so they wouldn't need to make a deal. I don't know. It could be, there could be a deals thing at play here. But in any case, I think it's mostly just the fact that the new streaming service is coming. If the new streaming service wasn't coming, I think that all this content would be staying here.
I'd imagine they didn't think too much about removing a bunch of kid shows because apparently kids don't care. You don't need me to tell you that these companies don't and never did care about the preservation of these shows. And I wish there was a bigger point to attach hope to, but as it stands, as I said before, things are looking spooky for Cartoon Network, and I don't know exactly where I would shift my attention to if the entire thing just so happened to just dissolve into a category on a streaming service.
Well, they're all gonna go onto another streaming service, but I think that to a greater point of what he's saying, I've lost hope in Cartoon Network's new content for a while. The only show on Cartoon Network that I'm like excited about to like continue watching is Elliot from Earth. Now, I am thinking about picking up Craig of the Creek again, maybe Mau Mau, but at the same time, the Cartoon Network is nowhere near what it used to be. The days of the Amazing World of Gumball, the days of regular show. I'm slowly going through Adventure Time. There were just like so many insane great shows on Cartoon Network. Even some of the ones that the more recent ones that got pulled, OKKO, Infinity Train, Summer Camp Island. We are never going to see an era of Cartoon Network that great again. I don't think. I think that what I would prefer, and I think that what a lot of people would prefer, and I think would be great for Cartoon Network, is for them to not lean heavily into like an Adult Swim, but make a sort of like Teen Swim where you have like, you take a lot of these older shows and you bring them back with the same creators. You say, hey, it's TV-14. You could have like blood in this now and cursing, like, and then you can have a little bit more freedom. You let the characters grow up, like what you saw happen with Samurai Jack. I think that's a more natural progression and could cause these shows to be a lot better.
Getting back to Julia Potts' tweets, she had this reply here. I think all artists need to come together and figure out how we can make it in this world without having to rely on big corporations.
That's kind of cool. I like the idea. If she wants to make her own streaming service for like individuals who just want to make their own content and put it somewhere, that is dope. They should definitely do that. Like I could see that being a home for like content creators, such as the person who made OKKO, which that show ended the way it was supposed to end, but it ended way earlier than it was supposed to have ended. Shows like Final Space. Like imagine like the guy who made Final Space being allowed to, just have a streaming service where he could throw all his stuff up there. I like this idea of making a streaming service for cartoon creators. It's almost like creating the Cartoon Network of the streaming era.
And that's why I'm excited to see things like Hell of a Boss manage, because if one can make it, a lot more can make it. And I'm literally on my knees begging for more sustainable independent IP. But I suppose for now, we have to wait for more info. I want to give a special thanks to my friend Critical Nerd, who also makes videos.
That's cool. I mean, I will say that it's a little bit alarmist because all this content's coming back. Like, don't be, I understand being miffed and upset that it's not here now, but it all is coming back eventually. So I don't think that now is like the time to panic if what you're worried about is like losing access to the content that you already that you were watching or that you want to watch. I think that the big issue is, I don't know how many great new things are coming back. Now, granted, especially when it comes to like me and how I am orienting my TV watching and stuff, I'm basically just building out my own streaming service with Plex, buying content ethically, and then throwing it on my server. So there is going to be a point where it's like, I'm not buying anything else. I have everything I need except for maybe some movies. And yeah. So I'm not going to have to always be looking for something new. But I think most people are going to be looking for something new. And that's where things get tricky, in my opinion. But anyways, Lennox O came out with his first YTP ever. He said it here today, and so I'm going to be reacting to it. Oh, this is short. Wait, what? I don't know about you, but hold on, let me see. I don't know about you, but let me take a screenshot here. I don't know about you, but this looks a little bit sus. That was bad. Okay. Is this a YTP? Or is this art? I'm curious to see where this goes. See, I love like the tone that the music is adding to this. I feel like the camera angle doesn't make it feel as dramatic as it should be, but this definitely feels like very dramatic. I'm really interested to see where he takes this. Okay. Wait, is he just gonna eat this banana and that's the whole video? What did I say, chat? What did I say? It's sus. How do you choose this? How did you choose this music? You know what's even more sus than this? Is Mr. Pizza's comment here. Lennox O loves eating bananas on camera. Come on, man. Come on. Also, I really appreciate the one take Jake aspect of this. Now, you guys know in the chat, you guys know what question I'm going to ask at the end. If he doesn't give me the answer, you know what question I'm going to ask. This here's like if you ate a snack, but like everything you did is like a scene in Succession. But you live alone, so there's no one to argue with. What? What? This is how you make a YTV that I will enjoy. What? What was the ending? What? So in the comments, I'm so glad this was recommended to me. That's awesome. That's awesome that you're getting into the recommended beats, because I rarely get recommended in my content, but that's great. But you guys know what question it was that I was gonna say that I was gonna ask if he didn't ask. Right? Lennox O, if you're in the chat, if you're watching this here, what do you rate this? What do you give it? Like a 10 out of 10. There's my typical like not a newbie reaction, like, where's the review? Where's the 10-point review? You know, tell me how much of the citrus. Don't stuff the tip of your tongue, you know. Typical not a newbie response. Typical not a newbie response. All right, y'all, I'm going to be reacting to a couple more videos. I'm going to be doing a little warm-up segment at answering some of your guys' questions in chat. And then I'll be playing some Minecraft for Minecraft Mondays. Let's see here. Here we have What Happens When You Hit 1 Million Subscribers by Brett Cooper. For some reason, there's no spacing between 1 and million, but that's fine. This is like a fully produced thing. Like, is she joining 100 Thieves? Like... I'm really digging this. I think that it's cool that she's doing a video like this.
1 million subs! Oh my god.
What is this?
Mind the princess. Mama's gotta go make some money.
This crusty white thing, I'm not watching her.
I'm sorry. You are now the producer on a YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers. I would hate for that to change because of sweet little cute Rocky. You're a trooper. Thank you.
Yeah, but...
Oh, also that's one thing. It's all of her fans, I guess, are called Cooper Troopers now. So that's kind of what that is an allusion to.
Thanks, Carter.
What the?
Cut.
What?
This better not be Blueberry.
Why do you look like dollar store Zack Snyder? Like, have you guys ever seen Zack Snyder? Dude looks exactly like Zack Snyder. Oh, I spelled his name wrong there. My bad. Dude, you can't tell me this dude doesn't look like Zack Snyder. Dude, the hairline is the same. What? Is that Zack Snyder? I want to know now. Is it... What?
Thanks, Carter.
What the?
Cut. This better not be Blueberry. Oh, damn it, Bobby.
Why are you wearing sunglasses inside?
Guys, we hit 1 million subscribers in 5 months, which is great.
Is that what the actual studio looks like? It's actually very similar to the MKBHD studio, which is rather cool.
Damn it, Bobby.
I didn't know it looked like that.
Why are you wearing sunglasses inside?
Also, wearing sunglasses inside is like such a boss move. Super fire. Want me to? If you want me to be like, yo, I dig that. Put on sunglasses.
Guys, we hit 1 million subscribers in 5 months, which is great. You know, I think we could have done it in 3 months, but, you know, there's only so much that I can expect out of all of you.
I think the greatest thing about this is that, like, if you watched her streams, she was actually very shocked that she grew this quickly, and she actually feels like hitting 1 million subscribers at this point is, like, very undeserved. She was like, most people are like, oh, like, you know, I've had this long journey to get here and I've worked so hard. She's like, I just popped up on here and I've got 1 million subscribers in 3 months, which is like, it's really cool that she has that level of humility, but at the same time, yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Reagan, walk with me. So, this is my new office, and Reagan, I'm gonna need you to decorate it for me.
But Brett, this is the studio. I don't think production's probably gonna like it.
No. It's my office. Can you read the sign? No. This is my bad side. Can you just use the reverse angle?
Brett, there is no other angle. This is like the main.
You're so talented. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Wait.
Thank you.
She has 5 cameras, 16 consoles. No, I feel like they probably get her at like 3 of her 4 sides, so.
Producer jobs in Nashville.
Hey, Sheller.
Good. Hey,
What were you looking at?
nothing.
Yeah, sure you were. But while we are on the subject, would you mind calling the vet? Rocky's bowels have been a bit impacted,
What?
if you catch my drift. Thank you.
I think the funny thing is, now that I think about it, like, pretty much, like, I mean, unless you're like like LGBT or like a makeup like YouTube channel, like you probably don't really like carry yourself this way on YouTube as a 1 million subscriber content creator.
Mom, did you hear that I hit 1 million? Oh, yeah, I miss you too. Right, yeah. No, I'm not letting it get to my head, I promise.
Yes, sure, Brett, yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. Back to work. I love you too. Bye.
There you go. Now we're back to
Hey
normal
guys. You might have noticed that I was acting a bit different. I'm sorry. But I got cookies for everybody. Are those from the kitchen?
Yeah, that box is half empty.
Oh, gluten-free.
Listen, guys, I'm trying. I can order some crumble. But seriously, I wanted you all to know how much I appreciate you and all of your hard work, because I couldn't have
One thing that I'm now realizing is the fact that like she actually is/was an actress is exactly why this video turned out so well.
done it without you. And I'm sorry.
Hey, does anyone know where Scheller is?
It's not bad. It's not bad. Some nice editing and nice acting, good writing. Not like,
Reagan, walk with me. Oh, I need to do that, but I'm not.
it's not like overly like cheesy or hammy. It's pretty good. Wait, Lennox, so so that wasn't your YTP? I didn't know that was. Wait, hold on. I didn't know that wasn't your. I thought that was your YTP for sure. Wait, hold on. Is this? Where's your YTP? Is it TK17 unflattering faces? What? I'm a little bit confused, Lennox. So wait, hold on. Did you send the YTP into the React thing? Because I'm not seeing it unless I'm really behind, which I mean I probably am, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see your YTP. But I did go in the React thing and I saw that there was this meme that I wanted to react to.
I have been baking a lot recently.
This is from a Brett Cooper out of context channel. It's cool that people are actually making like these out of context channels for YTP for Brett Cooper. I think that more people need to make out of context YouTube channels, to be honest.
I have been baking a lot recently, so I can't disagree. But also, I don't really care. If you think I'm too thick for you, that's fine. I am really not.
Because you all know. Because everybody here knows that like the correlation between baking and thickness, right? Like we all understand at this point, right? Like the correlation, you know, because when you're baking, it's like, so you know, correlation isn't causation, but. Okay. You guys are telling me that it's Miss Pangus? What? Why do I feel like this is gonna be something I regret? Oh boy, this is 2 weeks old. I didn't know I'm that far behind. Man, I really need to up my React game. But I just haven't had as much time to do these reactions.
Yo, what's going on?
My fellow fuckboy meets.
It is your boy, Mr. PD. Now, this isn't huge, but I nearly lost my PD again. So for some context, you know, my OnlyFans was hacked. It turns out that it was sold. Some hacker figured out the information, the account login to the OnlyFans, and
also like the fact that like the way that you edited this makes this like make like way more sense because, well, not way more sense, but it makes it make a lot of sense just because you only need to edit like one thing and then you're just like, oh, talking about a hack. Like that's pretty cool.
And then somebody actually bought as hunting the account.
Meanwhile,
So they were reacting to hunting. So yeah, we're doing it shirtless, you know. Let's get a sip of that delicious
pink sauce.
That is
What is pink sauce anyways? Is it like the process of like pink eye? Or like the is it like pink eye product? Like what is pink sauce?
With that being said, let's start the reaction in 3, 2, 1, play.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that play on words. You know, we have he's reacting to a donkey content here.
In 3, 2, 1.
See, I read my KJV.
Believe it or not, the person that bought the account was actually Q.
Oh man, I was hoping it was Daniel Lord.
Mom was actually kind and willing enough to give it back. So got the account back instantly as soon as I logged in. Changed my long.
That's not the kind of humor we do on this show.
That's literally me whenever you guys should have. The funniest thing about that's like literally me whenever like you guys try to have me react to YTV. Like, here's not the kind of humor we do on the show. Okay.
You will not believe it. So a bit of a little story time, I guess you could say, because I'm not
Colombian. I will say that this is something I didn't know. Mr. Pizza, you owe us an explanation. I thought you were Colombian this whole time.
Salts.
This is good. This is good. I like the little bits here. I like this part where it's just
That's not the kind of humor we do on the show.
Humor we do on the show. I also appreciate the fact that you didn't make it graphic when like you definitely could have. That was nice. And also the donkey content. I think the donkey content one is actually like my favorite just because it's just like, I don't know. It's like a play on words. It's like actually clever. If you look, a lot of YTPs are just like, oh, I made him say something really crazy. But like this one is very much a focus on you know, you did like actual jokes. Like you made it funny. This is pretty good. I think if I wasn't so tired, I would have laughed quite a bit louder because this is actually pretty good. Like you should keep on making YTPs, to be honest, especially like if that's like your first one. I especially like your emphasis on making it funny and making jokes rather than just like editing things to make people say sauce and like just random things. Because you do see a lot of like a big tendency in like some creators to be like, oh, I'll just make them say sauce over and over again. Let's see. Go back to the React content. I want to react to a couple more things, but let's do 4 more things, okay? 4 more things because each of these videos are like, let's react to 4 more things because each of these videos are like 2 or 3 minutes long. All right, so here we go. Every iShow speed stream.
Chat, I ain't gonna lie, chat. Chat, I ain't gonna lie, chat. No, chat. Nah, for real, chat. Hear me out, chat.
I don't think this is accurate. Usually he's just screaming, isn't he?
I ain't gonna lie, y'all starting to piss me off. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it.
Drew No Auto
Chat, I ain't gonna lie, I'm
donated
calling the police right
$10
now,
for
chat.
Super Chat.
I'm calling 911 right now. Staged, bro.
He's like Jay Schlatt if like all of his like destructive like antics had no like punch. They had no build up, so they're not even punchlines. They're just like antics.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all pissing me off today. I can't do this shit, bro. Oh my god, I can't do this shit, bro. On God, I can't do this shit. Chat, on God, I can't do this.
What is he on drugs?
Drew No Auto donated $10 through Super Chat.
Put a shirt on, bro. Larry Green, bro. On God, I'm not doing this shit today, bro.
We got 500,000. You know what's funny? Hassan Piker, like Hassan Nabi would do the exact same thing. It's like, oh, you don't like the clothes I'm wearing? Well, I mean, you're blocked, dude. Like, you're banned. Like, shut up and go on somebody else's stream if you don't like the clothes I'm wearing. Like, that's like literally what Hassan would. I feel cringe just imitating him just because of like how the cringy his antics can be sometimes.
Larry Green, bro. On God, I'm not doing this shit today, bro. We got a $500,000 dono. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Samantha Papadi donated $1.99 through Super Chat.
It's only worth 75 cents in America. Yo, chat. Yo. Nah, chat. On God, bro. Nah, chat. I ain't gonna lie. I'm about to get off stream, bro.
Also, I like it when these streaming parodies have like good chat things too, like to react to, because like the best streaming moments are like generally do come from chat interactions. So
Dad sleeping. Chat, I ain't gonna lie. His name is DeAndre, so he's obviously a black person. Chat. I cannot take you seriously. You black bitch. Why are your streams only 36 minutes? Chat, I ain't gonna lie, chat. I don't know what I like. I ain't gonna lie, like on God, like on my mom. So like, I don't know, like you know, like hear me out, chat. No, hear me out, chat. Like hear me out, chat. Listen, hear me out.
I wish I like watched. Well, actually, no, I do not wish I watched more I Showed Speed. But I wonder, like, if I watched more I Showed Speed, if I would get some of these jokes a little bit more.
Larry Green, bro. Chat, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what the hell. Stream 7 hours a day. You can check the stats.
It's about to get banned. Yep. Dude got banned. That's good. I don't understand how people could stream for like 7 hours a day, to be honest. We got this Meat Canyon video, which is called Classic Tate W.
Gentlemen, we've had success with phase 1. Expensive cars. Vroom. Money. Classic Tate W. And most importantly, women. We do be
I like how we have like the Nelk Boy dude, we have Sneeko, we have Aiden Ross. This is good.
Classic Tate W, man. You're the best. Women. But it's time now for phase 2 of our journey. And that, gentlemen, is self-love. Observe closely.
This is not something I would ever expect from Andrew Tate, because usually he leans into, you know, instead of loving yourself more, it's hating other people more.
Gentlemen.
What? I don't. That's not the kind of humor that we do on the show. I don't know. I think I'll leave this one for Mr. Pizza to watch when the stream is over. Nah, man. This is too much. How's this little? I'm going to the next video, man. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry. The Liberators is classic Meat Canyon. Is this the type of stuff he does? Why do y'all tell me? I don't want to watch this. Meat Canyon does this. Why did y'all tell me? You saw I was playing this. What? You guys should have told me what was gonna be in that. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's move on. We've got this clip from Sky News Australia. A little bit different than a Meat Canyon video. It's House of the Dragon tackles misogyny head on, because we definitely don't have enough shows coming out nowadays that tackle misogyny.
Bit of entertainment now. The stars of House of Dragon promise that this series won't recreate a legacy. That's in reference to its highly successful predecessor, The Game of Thrones. The cast and crew say it'll be more diverse than the original and tackles misogyny head-on. Danica DiGiorgio filed this report from Los Angeles.
Also, I will say, because allegedly, so I was watching a review, I think it was Jeremy John's review of House of the Dragons, and so at the end, I'm gonna give a spoiler, a slight spoiler of Game of Thrones, but I mean, who cares? Because people don't really like the ending of it anyways. So the person who ends up on the throne is a woman. The woman ends up on the top at the end, and people are kind of all like, okay. And Jeremy Johnson's video was like, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but then it kind of did because she had some sort of monster with her that she was using to intimidate people or whatever. He was like, well, this is a very heteronormative system, kind of like very patriarchal. So it didn't really make sense to me that they wouldn't be as intimidated about it. So I think that one way House of the Dragon could, you know, in a fair way, tackle misogyny is kind of show how some of those barriers were broken down to where, you know, a woman leading in that capacity, in that capacity wouldn't have been so stigmatized. That's like one angle they could go with it. But also, I hate it when you do these prequel series that throw in like more. Oh, hey, are you understand? Okay, okay. Hold on, let me hold on, chat. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, y'all. I had to check up on something real quick. All right, so what I was saying was, the one thing I don't like about all of these prequel series that then go and add in diversity is because basically the only way in universe where that makes sense is basically you have a society where everything's diverse and then there's a massive genocide and then all you have left is white people. Like, that's like how the Lord of the Rings show, Rings of Power, has to go, because it'll be impossible to like, oh, look, we've got like all these different people from all over the country, you know, all these different color skin tones from all over the rainbow. And then how come 300 years later, everybody is white? They all died? We had Viking Nazis? Like, how are they going to explain this? I don't know.
Ahead of today's much anticipated release of episode 1.
The chemistry between Steve Toussaint and Eve Best on and off House of the Dragon is palpable.
Eve and Steve, you've got rhyming names, you play husband and wife in the series.
It was all planned.
It was all planned. Well, that's why we got the part. So I think so too. How was it to work so closely together?
Awful.
The pair star as Corlys Valerian and Princess Rhaenys Targaryen in the highly anticipated Game of Thrones prequel set 200 years before the original series.
I placed my heir upon the Iron Throne.
Complete with, as the name suggests, dragon riding.
They construct this big kind of creature, kind of like a fairground ride, and they put a saddle
is
on it.
This like a featurette? I don't know. This is not really that
yelling
interesting.
at you. More like you're on a motorbike. More like you're on a motorbike.
For Steve, this series means so much more. In the original book, his character is white, but the executive producers wanted this cast to represent the world we live in.
How do you feel being a part of it?
I feel like they should have made a show about the world we live in if they wanted to make a show that reflects the world that we live in. You know? Like, I don't feel like... This doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but it's whatever.
A drama which reflects the world we live in. One of the...
When it comes to, like, when you do, like, race and different things inside of castings, you know, I think that what's most important, sometimes they do it in ways that don't make sense. Not the fact that they're doing the whole diversity thing in the first place, because kind of like what I said, if you do these prequel series and then you throw in a lot of diversity, the only thing you're setting up is like a big, massive racist genocide to happen at some point, so that the content later, it makes sense why there are only white people there. What I don't think is a really great storyline that we all want to be reliving in all of these shows. You know, 2-3 seasons down the line of House of Dragons and Rings of Power, you just have all the black people getting killed by the white people. I don't think that that's the line that really we want to be constantly having on screen. Like, but I think that's what we're going to be seeing in the mid to late 2020s. That's the kind of story that we're going to be seeing all across their television screens and all these high caliber shows.
Supporting artists came up to me and said, "It's so good to see you guys up there because representation matters." And so that I feel happy to be a small part of that.
Just like Game of Thrones, we have been promised grand and glorious costumes, which weren't always so comfortable for the cast.
Initially so fun, and then you wear it for half an hour and you're like, this is the heaviest thing I've ever worn.
Were they heavy?
I've got a trapped nerve from just they like sort of like hinge on just like your points on your shoulders.
Do they really think that I cared about how heavy the costumes are? I don't know.
Difference is that this...
I thought this would be a 3-minute video about how much House of the Dragon takes on misogyny.
Series tackles misogyny head on. It tells the story of the Targaryen family ripped apart by power and the battle for women to claim the prized Iron Throne.
No queen has ever sat the Iron Throne.
Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook's characters are central to this.
Really, the reason we're both here is that it's a series that is directly investigating patriarchy, women and power.
Putting together a series that follows on from one of the most successful television franchises ever weighs on the mind of the cast and crew.
We're so aware that there is a legacy behind us, and
the legacy is that no one's going to watch the show anymore because the ending was terrible.
Ending an incredibly, amazing and powerful legacy that we have to uphold, but also we have to do our own thing.
Enjoy it, watch it, please, we love you.
Please enjoy it.
House of the Dragon premieres today and is available to stream on Binge and watch on Foxtel.
I have no idea what Binge or Foxtel are. That's interesting. But I don't know. First of all, this video was boring. I don't I even thought that the video would kind of be boring, and this video ended up being more boring than I thought it would be. And again, I don't know how many misogyny shows we want. I don't know. Let's do Misandry next. But anyways, we've got this next video, which is by David Pacman, and we've had his bad takes on this stream before, but I figured that we would try it again. It'd be interesting to see what he has to say on the subject. Is it okay if socialism? So I wonder if he's gonna have a thoughtful take here or not. We'll see.
Let's go next to Jamie in South Dakota. Jamie, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello, David. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm like kind of like a capitalist in like the Nordic kind of model sense.
Okay.
And I know you're from Argentina, and I was just wondering if you followed like any of like the leftist wins in like Latin America.
Yes,
like
to some degree I followed them. But did you have a specific question about one of them?
I was wondering if you think like with some of their talk of like taking over like the market economy, if like you think that they could like turn kind of like that, like this government would be different than like the previous outcomes.
Which government are you talking about? What country?
I don't know, just kind of maybe like Chile specifically. I don't know.
You're saying if Chile could overthrow capitalism?
Or like he's talking about like...
I will say this caller should have like had a cheat sheet. Like, I don't disagree with I don't think it's a bad question to ask, but I think that he came in with an idea which was awesome. But he didn't come in with many facts or details. And so when David Pacman is probing here, because I think that he's sort of maybe looking for sort of like a weakness in any argument that could say that capitalism is not in fact the worst. He would need more details to do so. But we'll see.
Like doing different things to like get make it more kind of public and like more socialist and get rid of like the market-based stuff.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I think
that'd be positive.
Countries should do whatever the people want their elected representatives to do. I'm not a socialist personally, so I wouldn't be advocating for a country to become a socialist country. But if Chile or whoever, if there's demand for it from the people and it's not being imposed in an authoritarian way by a authoritarian of some kind, try it. Absolutely. Why not?
No, because we all know that it doesn't work. I think that a better approach is like to be like, hey, this system isn't good, but if they want to do it, who am I to say that who am I to say that they can't do it? They can do what they want as long as they vote for it. But to say like try it, I think is a little bit too encouraging.
Right. Yeah, I'm just really interested to see how it goes. I'm not a socialist personally, but
yeah, I mean, listen, give it a go if that's what the people want.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking my call. Hope you.
Also, the whole theory of like give the people whatever they want, I don't think is a good policy to have generally.
My pleasure. You too, Jamie from South Dakota. Great to hear from you.
Alrighty. Let's see here. I'm gonna play some Minecraft. Actually, I don't know why I turned on the music. I'm about to just hop on this game, man. Let's see. Alright, let's play some Minecraft, and it's looking like my man Nate is on the server. Let's see here. Alrighty, Nate, what's up? Wait, hello? Wait, you're muted, dude. Why are you muted?
I've been chilling watching it.
What?
I've been chilling watching a show since I wasn't sure when you'd get on.
Oh. Yeah, no, I know I kept you hanging there a little bit. I was able to get on a little bit earlier. I figured I would kind of essentially do like a react stream and then play some Minecraft back to back.
You're doing a reaction video?
Yeah, I streamed like a bunch of reactions just now. As I like reacted to a bunch of videos.
Hold on just a second.
Because like react content used to sort of be like the bedrock of bedrock. Of like my content, like for like streaming. Like I think that's like actually how my core audience found me.
Reacts?
Yeah. Because I was doing a lot of reaction content.
It seems like a pretty simple, low-budget way of creating an audience.
Yeah, it is, but I think that the best way is like more original content with I don't know, more like critiques and more thoughtfulness. So like if you've seen Mogul Mail, I'd love to move into making some content more like Mogul Mail, and that's kind of what I did at the beginning of my stream because I was breaking.
Mogul
Mogul Mail is a YouTube channel by Ludwig. You heard of Ludwig before?
I've heard of him.
But yeah, so basically it's like he usually answers questions or addresses topics on that channel. And so like that's kind of like it's kind of more of like a commentary type thing.
Sure.
Oh, it's raining.
Yeah, I was on earlier for I don't know, maybe an hour, and it was perpetually night and raining.
Oh, that's where I think I may sleep. Maybe that'll reset it. Cause I don't think
I think it's day right now.
Oh. Cause you're not on, are you?
I'm on.
Okay.
Huh?
Oh yeah, no, it's not yet. But yeah, I was on earlier talking about how everyone, well not everyone, but all of the Cartoon Network community is panicking right now because like a lot of Cartoon Network shows got pulled from HBO Max.
Okay.
And there's no way to stream a lot. There's no way to stream pretty much all of them on a streaming service. Most of them you can buy on iTunes, but even then, not all of them. So some of it's literally lost media right now. And so
The Cartoon Network has always seemed like a hard thing to get a hold of.
Yeah, as far as like if you want to own it, especially like post regular show and Adventure Time. Those were the last shows that they did full Blu-ray releases for. I know that they did do. I think they did do a. No, not even that. I think there was only a season 1 DVD release of OKKO, but not season 2.
I mean, even some of the old shows, you can find the DVDs, though it's not that easy.
Yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is hop on eBay, I think, right?
Usually, yeah.
I mean, eBay's great.
But sometimes you just can't really find them.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think... See, and this is why people really undervalue... Like, what I'm doing right now is I buy stuff, I put it on my Plex server. Like, I get, like, Blu-rays, for example, then I rip them and put them on my Plex server. And then that way, like, it doesn't go away. And so I'm kind of just, like, building out my own, like, the dream streaming service.
And like call pirating now.
No, it's not pirating unless you do it without paying for it. Like, I'm buying all of the content.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just don't understand how people sort of miss the fact that if you watch stuff on a streaming service, it can just go away at any time, or it can change. Like, I think that Disney has changed scenes in both. Well, I know Disney's changed scenes in Star Wars between Star Wars releases, but they've also changed.
That was Disney. I think that was actually just Lucasfilm when it was just them.
Yeah, true. But also, like, Disney has changed scenes in MCU shows, I think.
Have they?
I mean, they changed, like, some special effects background detail in the WandaVision show.
Really?
Yeah.
What they change?
They changed how, like, the waterfall looked in like a scene in the background once. I think there were like they also like got rid of like an impaled like there was like a scene in like Falcon Winter Soldier where someone got impaled. They like got rid of it and made it like bounce off of the character instead. It was really weird. But I mean, that's kind of what you sign up for when you get like when you kind of tie yourselves down to these services and you don't actually own the content, you know?
Yeah, and even if you bought it, like I've bought a few things off of Amazon, but I own the digital versions of them. And if Amazon went away, well, I lose the digital version.
Right. And I kind of hate that because at least I always recommend if you want to buy digital media, I actually always recommend iTunes for 2 reasons. One is that, like, let's say that you're not like me and you're not like super nerdy, then like what I'm doing is basically I'm buying stuff and then I can stream it. But I have to do the work and I have to put in the work of streaming, of like ripping and everything. If you don't want to go through all that, just buy your content on iTunes and then get like the Apple TV Plus account, because that way you can stream all your content that you buy on iTunes. You just can't buy it from your couch. And so there's like that aspect of it.
Think I get what you're saying.
And also iTunes content rarely goes away too. That's like another big thing.
Yes, though I have run into a problem, which might be unique to the show. So, do you know Penguins of Madagascar?
Yes.
Like at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it the show or the movies?
The show.
Okay.
The good.
Okay. Why, is there a bad show?
No, it's just I don't consider the movie a real thing. I don't like it.
Really? I've never seen the movie. I have seen the movie. There's one movie that was pretty good, at least.
But the Penguins of Madagascar, I initially went to like Apple TV, iTunes, whatever you want to call it, and bought it from there. However, I got 10 episodes per season, quote unquote. When I would go to like a season list of Penguins of Madagascar, they're more of 24, 25 episode seasons.
Yeah.
So it's like, why am I only getting 10 episodes from this?
It's because
and then they only had 3 quote seasons, which stretched out to maybe the second season. And on Amazon, it was the same price or even cheaper for the whole thing. So I don't know if that's something unique to the Penguins because they're confused.
It's a standard thing in animation where to release content, and I think this is sort of in older shows, but it kind of started going away. But in general, it's only an animation thing where if you're selling a show that's like a cartoon, like a kid's cartoon, you never really like in the olden days, I suppose, of 20 years ago, you never release like a full season of a show, like a cartoon on DVD, like at once. You release it in volumes that usually have half of a season on it. I think part of it is kind of like technology at the time. They couldn't fit all of the episodes into like one package, even though they could have like slapped more discs on there. You also make more money if you can sell 2 different releases. And so that's always been like a standard thing. But for some reason, like you basically the Gumballs like the same way. Like they're like 10 volumes for like 6 seasons worth of TV on iTunes, and that actually is replicated on Amazon. Like it's actually rare for Amazon to list the shows properly with seasons. But that's where that's what I like about like the Plex, because like for example, I bought Futurama Volume 1 and 2 on DVD, and those both make up for the whole of season 1. And I'm not gonna have to worry about like, oh, like which season am I on, because as I'm opening it in my app on my TV, it's showing up as season 2 when really it's the second half of season 1. Because I control the metadata, I can make it be whatever I want. So I can make it say, oh, this is just like, the second half of season 1.
Yeah. I really wish that they just wouldn't. Like, just charge me more for more of the content, or else don't call it the second season. It's not the second season.
You know what? Part of me feels like...
Even with Penguins, part of the episodes were just jumbled. They weren't in the right order.
Oh, I hate that. I didn't know they did that.
It's not a very serialized show. Like, there's some things that are referenced here and there.
Yeah.
So it didn't make that much of a difference, but it's still noticeable every here and there. It's like, the animation looks a little worse than it did last episode, or you just referenced this one character who doesn't show up in the order that you've shown until 3 episodes later.
Now that I don't understand, although I do believe that for whatever reason, some of these folks, like they didn't really do a good job of keeping track of which episodes they had in the hard drive. So occasionally you'll see one episode that's listed incorrectly. And also Adventure Time. Like I was watching Adventure Time a little bit on HBO Max. I can't even remember if it's still on there. But Adventure Time had like this really big issue where the content on there, like the episodes were out of order, and I think they had like 2 different like release schedules that they did. It was wacky. Oh yeah, I know what it is. It's production order versus release order.
Maybe.
So they make the episodes in a certain order, but the way you're describing it just sounds like they jumble the episodes up, which happened with Gumball before, I think.
Because I do believe there was a time or 2 where it's like, oh, the animation is noticeably different.
Yeah. And that can't be pinned down on production number.
Surprise attack.
Whoa! What? What are you doing?
Surprise attack.
Dude, you
obviously.
took my kill from me.
Oh no. All your skill points.
Yeah, all of my XP is gone now.
It's just all gone.
All right, time to get more stone.
SMP.
This is fun. I'm looking forward to kind of figuring out how I want to furnish this building, but I think it's almost as big as I want it to be.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty sizable. You got okay. This is annoying me. I'm making the staircase bigger.
Like, and it'd be nice because I've been working on this for a few months. Did you watch She-Hulk?
No.
Oh, you should have.
No, I shouldn't.
Yeah, you should have. Okay, the funny thing about She-Hulk is, like, the show itself is bad. It's a misinterest feminist fever dream is basically what it is. Yes. And the funny thing about it though is that so in the She-Hulk universe, all men except for Bruce Banner are like bad and sexist. But the funny part about that is that also means, and this really surprised me, is that as soon as all of like the bad sexist men are gone and it's just the main character and Bruce, the show is actually pretty good. Like, it's funny just because like
no, it's not.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
true. It's true. I mean, the only thing is like it works as like a dramedy. It doesn't really work as like a comedy, but it works as like a dramedy. But it's like as soon as all like there's like bending over backwards to paint all men as bad, that for all the scenes that have men in them, like they're just bad. But when it's just her and Bruce, it's just like okay, like you know you get it. Like the main character is like an entitled brat who just like wants to like live only for herself, and like you kind of get that instead of just having like a lot of nonsensical things happening to where you just feel like these are just live action adaptations of like a kids cartoon that was written by feminists.
The only problem with that though is you just acknowledge that yeah, she's a snotty brat that nobody likes. The problem with that is she's a snotty brat that nobody likes.
The women in the show who also hate men, they
no, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the character itself and the audience's then perception of
I think
her.
the audience likes She-Hulk way better than anyone in the universe likes She-Hulk, except for like her lawyer friends.
Somehow I doubt that.
Well, all her lawyer friends are women, so she doesn't have any male friends. She's like,
well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think like, you got my point though. What I was trying to say.
What was your point?
I'm trying to remember what it was myself. What were we even talking about?
We're talking about how.
Oh, we were talking about, or you mentioned that she was kind of like a brat when she was interacting with when it was just her and Hulk.
Well, she's always just a brat, but it comes off. She's always just a brat, but it just comes off like more realistic and believable, and like it makes more sense because it's in a realistic setting versus like you've got these like goofy sexist caricatures of like what men are. They're like all throughout the show, and it's hard to take anything that happens in those scenes seriously. But when she's in a setting where it's just her and Bruce, and then you see like, oh, normal situation, she is kind of a brat and very mean, then you kind of, it makes it easier to accept because it's outside of that like cartoon setting. You know what I mean?
Sure. Okay, so now I'm reminded of what my point was. And that was that, so she is a brat, and you're saying, oh, it makes sense. She's a brat. She sucks.
Well, no, it's not like that. It's more like, oh, like we get that the show is like we get like the story that this is like, or like we get the thing about this character that needs to come across. Like it's not just a thing of like, oh, men are just bad. Like we're getting more things about the character herself. Like, oh, she is a brat. She does have anger management issues.
You're making an assumption that Marvel will actually use that and show that there is a flaw in her, that this brattiness or spoiledness or whatever you want to call it is a flaw. That the show will actually acknowledge this and build off of it and make her a character.
I feel like the show. I think that the show is going to like have her grow. Like there's no way that they're portraying her the way that they're. I can't see also to put the brick down.
No.
But there's no way.
Way too much faith in Marvel. way too much faith.
But there's no way that this show has like portrayed her in the way that they have, and they allow her to stay the same and continue to be glorified because she's like very
that
selfish.
is absolutely what they're going to do.
There's no way.
That is 100%
If they
what they're
were
going to
do that, She-Hulk would never become a superhero.
They've been doing it already.
She-Hulk said in the show that she doesn't want to be a superhero.
Yeah, what's that got to do with anything?
It leans into the whole selfishness, everything about myself, because like the whole thing is Bruce is like, you have these powers, you need to use them for good and to help other people. She's like, I want to be a lawyer, and like,
yeah, and she's going to like, if I am wrong about this, I'll give you like a whole stack of emeralds. She is going to continue to be this way. It's not going to change. Not with the writers that they have, not with what they introduced in the first. No. This is going to be She-Hulk as a spoiled feminist warrior telling Bruce that her life is so much harder than the guy who tried to commit suicide.
Maybe. I mean, that's what she's saying, but the thing is, that's what she's saying now. I just don't know if the show's going to portray her as being right.
Oh, it definitely is. It's still going to place her, even if it doesn't say, "Oh yeah, she's right and perfect." It's still going. It's not going to say she's wrong. She's not going to grow. She's still going to be largely in the right, but maybe they won't say it as directly.
I don't know. Also, Blue Penguin Studios in the chat says, "Oh, who's a brat?" I thought you were going to say she's a brat. We're talking about She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. I've seen enough like reviews and people talking about it that I basically know everything that happens and all the
honestly,
scenes.
Though, to be fair, it's. I kind of hate saying it's not good because the scenes where it's just her and Bruce are actually pretty good, but there's just too much of like there's too much ham-fisted all men are bad sexism and like dogma within the show for it to, as a whole, I think, to be called good yet.
See,
now if the whole show is just
that she's just better than Bruce in every way automatically.
No, I think that the thing is like, I hope they lean into some things about it that are like kind of scary, where it's like, oh, she actually willingly was going to go kill those men who were by the bar who said hi to her, like, and not be able to blame it on like this rage monster. Like, there's some interesting, there's some interesting moral dilemmas. There's some interesting moral dilemmas that the show like could very easily bring up, but I'm hoping it's not a thing of like there were also some very interesting character beats that they could have done with America Chavez in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness that they didn't bring up, kind of leaning more into like facing your fear versus the lesson you needed to learn was that the dopeness was the you found along the way.
Not what the what?
The dopeness. Yeah. Yes, I like to tell people what America Chavez. There are character arcs within the show. America Chavez's character arc is she needed to realize how dope she was.
She has a character arc?
Yes, her character arc is she needed to realize how dope she is. That's her character arc in the whole movie. Like that's her point. That's the thing she needs to learn, is that she's dope.
Good she is?
That's yes.
Okay.
No, literally, like
90% of women in the MCU right now.
But the thing is, like, they teed it up so well because it could have. The thing is, like, she wanted to harness her power, and the way that these shows go is like the thing they need to learn is like also how they harness their power, and so the power kind of just goes haywire whenever she's very afraid. And so I was thinking, oh, okay, well, the message of this is going to be face your fear and conquer it, and then you'll be able to control it and harness it and become a more powerful person. But no, all you need to do is realize that she's cool. And that's kind of why, as I was watching the movie, I was almost like, I want a solo America Chavez movie, just because I felt like there was a lot of potential there. But then you just ruined it in like 5 minutes, and I was like, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, at least they laid the groundwork down for that, because Marvel usually doesn't lay down the groundwork for great character work like that. I think they're starting to get the kinks of figuring out how to write women as characters.
Never lose your optimism, Amar. you think way too highly of Marvel and their abilities and potential.
I think the funniest thing about the whole feminist wave of like all these shows is that they're just showcasing that they really don't know how to write realistic women and realistic men in the same scene. It's almost as if like if you're not focusing on
in general doesn't know how to write a woman without trying to turn her into a man.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not what a woman is.
Or demonizing men.
Yeah. They also have a really hard time with legacy. What the nuggets? They also have a hard time with legacy heroes. Sorry, as I was watching you, the wandering trader spawned in, and I just watched him spawn.
The wandering trader spawned in?
Yeah, he spawned right over here. And I just watched it.
I knew you were trouble when you spawned in. Why did you kill him? What is wrong with you?
Oh, whoops, I killed the wandering trader. Oh no! I only meant to kill the llamas, kind of.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's my fault. I'm just not a big fan of murder. I'm something of a pro-lifer myself.
Oh, make a little bit of good juicy murder on the server.
I don't know, I just don't like the idea of like killing things or people or creatures needlessly. I guess it extends to Minecraft too, but I don't know. I am in general like a fan of like life. except for one thing.
That's a very controversial position right there, Amar.
There's one thing that I will always be racist against, and that's fungus. Kill all of the fungus and the mold in the world.
So wait. If you hate fungus, it's racism?
Well, yeah, it's an entirely different like race of living beings.
That's not what a race is.
It's not. It's a species.
Maybe a species? I think.
Oh wait, yeah. Shoot, what's the difference between racism and speciesism?
Actually, that's a good question. Hey, so the definition of a race. What is a race? Like, if we think of, I guess, a more true look at it, it would be kind of like the difference between the race of orcs versus like the race of humans or something like that.
Right.
Like fantasy races. Those are kind of the true races. Like, you know, the typical thing people say is like, oh, there's only one race, the human race. Rainbow.
But like, do you have like different races of dogs, for example?
Huh.
Or just different species?
And if so, what's the difference? Because like we could say maybe like ethnicities are like different kinds of the same race. So maybe different dog breeds would be different dog ethnicities.
Maybe. I don't. I'm a tad bit befuddled. I don't know.
I am too. Like a race versus a species. Maybe different. Well, maybe different like races can breed, but different species can't. But then again, would we say like I guess like an elf and a human? Like I don't know. You got that in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Is there a non-fantasy example of different races? Like
Narnia?
True different races, or a race is a fantasy creation.
What about Narnia?
What about it?
Do they have different races in Narnia?
Oh yeah, they got like centaurs and bison people, centaurs.
By the way, did you watch House of the Dragon?
No, I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Well, me either. But I mean, if House of the Dragon isn't gonna have sex, then I would consider watching it. If it's gonna be good.
Yeah, there's no like nudity or anything like that. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, that could make me work.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done enough research into it, but all I've heard is that the first episode was pretty good. Like, that's all that I've heard.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard much of anything about it. It sounds as if it was released and everyone was like, oh yeah.
I know. It was funny. I came to this realization last week. The Game of Thrones franchise is done. And I guess we all probably knew this already.
Last season?
What?
I think like after their last season, everyone's just like, oh, okay, no.
Unless they do a redux of the last 2 seasons, which I think is like entirely like possible and could definitely
Snyder
work.
cut of House.
No, it's not even a Snyder cut. Like a complete redo.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I think if they were gonna do that, they should wait until the Martin dude writes all his books. But anyways, the show, like, I was realizing last week that I've been hearing and thinking about She-Hulk for weeks, and it wasn't until like Friday that and the thing is, I knew that She-Hulk was coming out like last week on like Wednesday, I think, or Thursday, but it wasn't even until like last week on Thursday that I even knew that House of the Dragons was going to be airing on Sunday. So like the fact that like so many people are talking about She-Hulk, everybody knows for weeks that it got moved from like Wednesday or Thursday or whatever, and I'm just now learning on the Thursday before the show airs that it's gonna be on Sunday. I think says a whole lot about where the Game of Thrones franchise is at. Now they're saying,
I do know that I also seen a considerably smaller amount of ads for House of Dragon than She-Hulk.
Oh, maybe that's it.
It is possible that it's just a whole marketing thing and they just failed epically.
But HBO has been marketing House of the Dragons for longer though. I think
they've been marketing it, but where have they been marketing it to? Just to their streamers?
I mean,
they've
been making trailers. And they've been posting
trailers, yes,
they've been posting Game of Thrones like clips and stuff for like 6 months, trying to hype everyone up for the news for like the House of the Dragons.
Yes, but you can post things all you want, but if you don't target it at the right people or right places, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting is that and I think it was a little bit aggro when I reacted to this earlier in the stream, is aggressive.
Yeah, I know, but
they claimed that this show House of the Dragons is like their highest viewed premiere ever or something, which at first I didn't believe, but now I actually do. And I think the reason why is just because of piracy. I think piracy is on the decline because the streaming services make everything so much more convenient. It used to be more convenient to pirate like a show that was on cable that they didn't put out on streaming. But now, because it's all on streaming, if you can pay $15 a month, why do you need to like cobble together all these torrents, wait for the files to download, and then watch your show in what might be subpar quality on your PC versus hitting a few buttons on your remote and then watching it on your TV?
I don't know if piracy is really it.
But I think that's what it is, because like I'm sure that more people actually watched the premiere of Game of Thrones than the premiere of House of the Dragon, but they just didn't. They can't track all of the piracy. Like it's not all like 100% trackable. You know what I mean?
I guess. I don't think piracy would have that much to do with breaking a record, like a opening weekend kind of thing. It might be that we are just kind of out of the loop of the House of the Dragon fandom or something, since we don't watch it.
That sounds reasonable. Yes.
So like that's possible. Maybe HBO also just hasn't premiered a whole lot of stuff, and what's it called?
The weird thing is they're planning a lot of things. Yeah. The weird thing is they're planning a lot of things. Like their fall schedule is gonna be massive, but they just don't have any. They don't have a lot right now. Oh yeah, like they have like so much teed up. Like I think Succession is gonna be in the fall/winter, or maybe not, but they're building up to something on that. There's like The Idol, which seems kind of interesting, even though like no plot is out for that yet. There's a lot going on. I do wish that like I don't know. I think that The Idol
need a show like this.
I wish that The Idol wasn't so sensational. Like didn't have such a sensational plot, because I think that like having I think it would have been better to have Sam Levinson do a show about just like normal people than have a show about these people who are living crazy, extravagant, and ridiculous lives.
I don't know.
But I do think that because the show is about adults, this is the show that is going to remove a lot of the stigma, negativity surrounding him because of Euphoria.
I don't really know enough about the person.
So essentially, Euphoria is a highly stylized and sexualized show, and because all the characters are like in high school, people are kind of miffed about that. Also, the fact that like he's like a grown man who's writing this content also has some people a little bit on edge.
Yeah.
And I think that if the Idol is going to be as like sexual and sensational as Euphoria, then people are gonna be like, oh, okay, so he's not a pedophile. Because it's like, see, he can sexualize it. Because they'll be like, see, he can sexualize adults too. Like,
that makes it so much better. Oh, he can't just do it to children, but to adults
but like,
too. Good to know. He's okay then. He's okay.
Now, granted, if that's the motivation for him making the show, then that's scumbag activity. Like, I want to make the show so people don't think I'm a pedophile. Like, imagine
going through his head, like, oh, we need to do some PR. Oh, I got it. Let's do it with adults now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think because of how sexualized it's likely to be, I'm not gonna watch it. But
are you trying to just get all this dirt out of here?
Yeah.
You need a shovel, man. You need a good shovel.
But yeah, I also do think that if they lean a lot heavier, if they lean as heavily into the stylizing of having everything be stylish and not as like tangible or substantive, people are gonna get bored with that show. Like they're starting to get bored with Euphoria. And it's weird because like Euphoria is actually kind of like a very like well done show visually. At least from what I've seen of the clips on YouTube and people talking about it. But they've also said that the writing of the stories has suffered greatly.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about any of those, so.
Yeah, I'm just sitting over here waiting for Succession. That's the only new show that I'm watching right now. Succession on HBO.
Well, I will never get HBO. It's just so darn expensive.
No, it's so well. No. Wait till the new. Well, actually, they I actually covered this at the beginning of my stream too. They have a 30% sale on it because it's basically a fire sale because they're getting rid of the streaming service. Like they're killing it.
Yeah.
Because of the whole HBO and Warner and Disney Discovery Plus thing, they're going to be making a new streaming service with all that stuff on there. So I would recommend you. Well, nah. Who am I kidding? Buy it on iTunes.
Yeah. I know with like HBO, it's one of the more expensive streaming services, but arguably more than that, they just don't have a whole lot of content I'm interested in.
What are you interested in? Clone Wars?
I mean, of course, Clone Wars. But...
Well, actually, no. Not thinking about it. Yeah, Disney Plus is the streaming service for you.
I will be canceling my Disney Plus account.
Why?
Well, for one, I don't want to give Disney my money anymore, and two, I hardly ever use it.
Yeah. Hey, if you buy everything, well, I mean, I guess from my perspective, I'm always gonna come at you with like the make your own streaming service perspective. But if you buy everything,
I would be down, but I would need to buy the stuff.
Well, you
first.
don't even have to do like a streaming service deal. Like you could just have a DVD and Blu-ray collection. Like my parents do. Like I'm basically just doing like
the money that I don't have at them.
Yeah, I mean I'm just doing the nerdy tech like infused version of what my dad does, where he just like he has a DVD collection of like the movies that he likes watching, especially like on repeat. And I'm doing that, but just also collecting the files. So I have the DVDs too, but but also the files. But anyways, if you want to like get or watch stuff by like Disney or whatever, you don't want to give them the money, just like buy it on eBay. Because it's used, you'll save money and you're not giving money to the actual company.
Yeah, and there's like a thrift store next door where I bought the first 2 seasons of Everyone Loves Raymond for like $4. The entire Lord of the Rings trilogy for $3.
What?
So I can find some really good stuff there.
Yeah, those Lord of the Rings, like especially like with kind of with the hype. Honestly, all of the hype around House of the Dragon has reminded me of is how much I actually kind of miss Lord of the Rings and would definitely be down to rewatching it at some point.
Hey.
So, even though the plot is a little bit different because the Game of Thrones plot is like power struggles, and like while there is power struggles in Lord of the Rings, the main plot is you need to get rid of that ring, man.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is more about heroes' journey.
It's the Hobbit that's a little bit closer, but it also focuses more on the militaristic side of things rather than like the actual plotting and scheming.
Yeah.
But anyways, I definitely would be down to get like a 4K Blu-ray of the extended edition of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, the extended edition even.
Oh yeah.
See, the ones I found were, get this, the widescreen edition.
Is that good or bad? I don't know what. No, like
it means that I am perpetually stuck with widescreen, whether I want it or not.
Oh,
some people die by the widescreen. Some people hate the stupid black bars.
I don't hate the black bars, but I do prefer if I can get rid of them. That's one thing I like about Plex. Plex is the only streaming service where you can crop the content on there. So I have like Frasier, for example, and I have it set by default to crop everything. So it makes it look slightly newer because I don't have those bars on the side. And the same thing with like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which I'm also watching on Plex.
Excuse me, those bars are cinematic. They make everything look more movie.
I'm not.
You do know there's a way with that.
I'm a big fan of the black bars, and it used to be almost like impossible for me to ignore them. So they were really obnoxious. I would always just be staring at the black bars.
Yeah, you know what actually doesn't look bad though?
Yeah,
is modern stuff in black and white, because the technology has advanced so much. Has like advanced so much more than it was at the time when stuff was actually released in black and white originally. That the contrast is way higher. And so it actually feels retro, but it also feels novel, new, and modern because it looks like similar, but it looks so different. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Like go watch the trailer for like the like there's like a trailer for like Hamlet, which is like a movie that A24 made for Apple TV Plus. I think it's like starring like Denzel Washington, and it looks phenomenal. Part of it is because of course A24 made it. So, I mean, there's that, but have you watched any A24 movies or anything?
What's an A24?
A24, you remember Mark Martin?
Oh yeah.
They're like his favorite like movie production company. He kept on buying all their Criterion collections of movies. I actually got an A24. I got my first A24 movie a couple weeks ago actually.
What are some of their movies?
The more recent ones are like Lamb. There's like the Marcel the Shell or whatever that one was called. I think the most recent one they've done in years past was The Lighthouse.
No, I guess my next question then is, are these the artsy fartsy I'm here for an Oscar movies, or are these entertaining?
A bit of both. The Marcel one I think actually focuses more on the entertaining. It's literally like a YouTube animated short apparently that they just picked up and turned into a movie. But most of them I think are mostly artsy fartsy, and if artsy fartsy is not entertaining for you, then you're not gonna like it. But it is pretty. I find artsy fartsy to be entertaining a lot of the time. I actually think that if you have something that is like artsy and you do it without that artsiness, it is less enjoyable.
Well, if you have something, well, yeah.
So like I think like for instance I think that like John Wick is more entertaining than 24. Even though I think 24 is like a better show when it comes to like complex stories and well done characters and stuff. John Wick is just.
I would call neither of those artsy fartsy.
Oh, John Wick is so artsy fartsy. Have you seen John Wick?
Yeah, I've seen all three.
The way that they do the like all of like the direction, especially of the
That's not what I
cinematography.
mean when I say. That's not what I mean when I say artsy fartsy.
Oh, when I say artsy fartsy, I mean in excruciating detail and dedication to technical skill.
Oh, okay. No, that's let's see, artsy fartsy. How to best describe it?
I feel like The Lighthouse would be.
Boring.
I think you would call The Lighthouse artsy fartsy.
Maybe.
Is it not nighttime?
Have you seen The Arrival?
No, but I did buy it because I did buy it. Yeah.
I would say that's an artsy fartsy movie.
Really?
It attempts at points to be entertaining, but scarcely.
Okay, how about this? How about what's
La
it
La
called?
Land is kind of more artsy fartsy, though it does a better job at trying to get into that entertainment section.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty artsy fartsy.
How do you feel about what's the name of that movie? Well, I don't know if you ever saw it. It's the one with Ezra Miller. Before he turned like absolutely terrible.
Before he turned.
Or it was revealed. Anyways, no, he was probably still grooming children by then. But it was. No, I'm serious. It was The Person Being a Wallflower.
Never heard of it.
What? It was a twin movie with The Fault in Our Stars.
The who?
The Fault in Our Stars. Wait, do you not know like the twin movies of like your generation? Like White House Down, Olympus Has Fallen, or like Captain America: Civil War and Batman vs Superman?
I mean, I know Captain America. I don't know if I'd say Batman.
Or like
Superman
the live action Dora movie and The Lost Jungle.
Did you say live action Dora movie?
Yeah.
Dora?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah. See, like, there's a thing.
Live action Dora movie. That was just a tragedy. What?
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't what I wanted it to be, and probably not what everyone else wanted it to be
Dora
either.
the Explorer?
Yeah.
What? First of all, what were your expectations going into a Dora the Explorer movie?
I thought it would basically just be like live action Dora saying silly words and breaking the fourth wall. Yes, that's what I thought it would be. But it ended up being kind of just like a. I mean, it was good. I think it was well executed, but it was also kind of cheesy. I don't know, dramedy, action, like adventure comedy, which I wasn't.
Okay, back to the important question. What possessed you to mention the movie?
Because I was just bringing up the twin films like of our time. Because you said you didn't know about either The Fault in Our Stars or The Person Being a Wallflower, and those are like two of like the biggest twin movies of our generation.
Which generation would that be? When were these released?
Us. Like, I think like late
Us
2000s. I mean, like late 2000s, early 2010s. I think like 2009, 2010, thereabouts. Or like I don't know, like Batman vs Superman and Captain America: Civil War is like another great example. Or
I don't know if I'd even call those great movies of our time.
Not great movies, twin movies. Or like Olympus Has Fallen.
Movies.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Oh, like ones that are released that are basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or appealing to the same audience, like Batman vs Superman and Captain America: Civil War, which I like both of them, but Captain America: Civil War is far better. But still, they are very different movies they're very different movies that are appealing to the same demographic who want the same thing. And actually, the same thing goes for Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down, which both are actually pretty silly movies. One of them actually plays itself straight, and the other one plays itself as like the whole movie's a Banana Man.
Okay. Why are we talking about that? Because it was those two movies that I've never heard of, ever.
Oh, because I was asking if you thought that The Person Being a Wallflower was an artsy-fartsy film.
Yeah, since I haven't seen it, I wouldn't be able to. It's hard to put into words.
I'm trying to think of an artsy fartsy film that you would actually find that you would have actually have seen.
I think part of it might even be, like, for a definition of an artsy fartsy film, is a film that takes
like Malcolm and Marie or like Roma on Netflix.
Too seriously.
Okay, how about Dunkirk?
Dunkirk?
Yeah. Would you call that an artsy fartsy film?
I've seen it. I saw it once. I remember almost none of it. There were some interesting things in it. I would say it did definitely have elements of an artsy fartsy film.
Oh wait, no, there's another twin film right there. That's Dunkirk in 1917.
I still haven't seen 1917. I really want to.
It's so much better. There's like tons of cursing in it though, but it's so much better. They copied. I think they copied Mr. Robot. Yeah, I think they copied Mr. Robot because Mr. Robot did the episode that they edited to make it look like it was shot in one take. And then 1917 was like, hey, let's do that, but a movie in wartime. And so like that's like basically what it is.
Okay.
Except there is one cut in it. There is one cut in it where it's like kind of a time jump. Because like a character falls asleep or something.
Yeah.
I like the whole concept of like how well 1917 did it and how well Mr. Robot did it as well. Just make those episodes be like really, really enjoyable. Like when there were all those riots going on with like all the unrest and stuff, I was literally like, this reminds me of the episode of Mr. Robot where like it was like basically a one take episode where the whole time everyone was rioting. I want to watch it again.
I have like, there are a few people who I know of, like reviewers or something, and they'll mention what is it, Mr. Robot?
Yeah.
Or will use footage from it, and they'll use it for a lot of different purposes. Yeah. But what I'm getting is at least worth a watch. It's interesting.
I will say rewatching it though is because see, I think it used to be my favorite. I think that it's not my favorite show anymore. I don't know, I have to finish my rewatch of it. But one thing I'm realizing is season 1 was way worse than all the rest of the seasons. And so one thing I liked about the show is that it has some very meticulous storytelling. But I think some of their storytelling got a little bit lazy. Well, it wasn't lazy, just wasn't as meticulous as like in season 1 as it was in later seasons. So that's like a little bit disappointing because like I just finished season 1. I'm at like season 2 episode 3 now, and like watching the seasons back to back, it's like, man, this season is so much better than the last season. And like especially like visually too, like there's more like definitive and deliberate use of color in Mr. Robot, which granted season 2 didn't really have a definitive color like other than like gray, but still each scene kind of had its own definitive color. Like certain like episodes like or certain scenes like there's mostly like red in the scene, and then that looks kind of nice. Some scenes like mostly like orange with blue hues in the corner, and like that looks kind of nice. It's not till you get to season 3 where like the predominant color is like blue, and then season 4 like the predominant color is kind of like light blue at the beginning, but then it descends into red towards the end.
All right, I think I've now developed kind of a better definition of the artsy fartsy film. And it has one of two qualities. One, the film was made to show how filmmakery the filmmakers are. It's just like, oh yes, we did all the things. You know those curtains? They're blue, and we did that to portray sadness in this scene. Yes, feel sad. Please feel sad. And then the other option for it would be that they think that they are filmmakers purely to preach or to share some sort of message to the extent that it's not meant to entertain.
Okay, so
they never wanted to entertain.
So the Snyder cut of the Justice League, is that an artsy-fartsy film?
I have not seen it.
What?
I haven't even seen the original Justice League.
Well, I haven't seen the original either. I actually want to buy it just so I can see how much worse it is. But
I think I did actually. I was on an airplane, desperate for entertainment, and I was like, I guess I can watch Justice League. And I watched like 20 minutes, and I was like, I'm good.
Oh yeah, every clip, the insane thing is like, they're two entirely different movies because almost none of the footage in the original movie really is the Zack Snyder cut. The real difference is they shot like a post-credit scene for the Snyder cut's release, and they hadn't done like basically any of the CGI for it. But the Snyder cut and what is really just like the Joss Whedon cut, what is like colloquially known as the theatrical version, is they're completely different movies because they use almost like none of the same footage. Even with some of the big tentpole fight scenes, like a lot of the cuts that are in there are completely different. The completely different tones.
How do you know this if you haven't seen the original one?
I watched a lot of YouTube videos about it.
I did hear they're pretty different though.
Yeah.
So I would have a hard time thinking of any superhero flick as artsy fartsy. I would have a hard time thinking that, but I haven't seen
the
DC
DC ones. DC ones, DC's been coming out with some really good artsy fartsy films. There's a Snyder cut of the Justice League. There's the Joker, and then there's the Batman. Out of all those, I would say that the Batman is the most accessible. And by that I mean it's the film that I think is probably the easiest to be enjoyed by most people, because I think that the plot of the Justice League is the Snyder Cut of Justice League. While it's really good, it can be so like thorough and complex that some might find it boring.
Well, being complex doesn't necessarily make it artsy fartsy.
It's just that there's a lot happening, and they also don't force feed it to you really quickly like most films do. Like most films would be like, oh, here's all the setup in 30 minutes. Like no, like the Snyder Cut like takes its time, and that's why it's like almost 4 hours long or 5 hours long or whatever. But it also like does a good job. So like for instance, like it just makes things make sense. So for example, Batman is trying to recruit the Justice League, right? And at first the people don't want to join him. But it's not like within the first 20 minutes the Justice League is like all together. Like there's like build up and like an explanation as to like why they changed their minds, and it's not instant, and it also feels earned when it does happen, because it's not like, oh, 20 minutes they were like, I'm out. 20 minutes later they're like, I'm in. Like you don't have that dynamic because they don't rush the story.
See, now I'm thinking more about some of the DC films I have seen. So the Batman, it definitely does have elements of the artsy-fartsy filming. Plenty of them. And there are points in it where it almost falls a bit too much into it. But it does manage to kind of get out of that and more into the, this is kind of like, you're more of an intelligent, in the sense of you're not insulting the audience's intelligence kind of thing.
Right.
By letting us try to figure things out to an extent. But now I think about Man of Steel, it kind of is a little artsy.
Well, yeah, because Zack Snyder made it. He's an artsy-fartsy dude.
He is.
So, but I will say that like Man of Steel, I like Man of Steel, but it's flawed. I think the best DCEU, maybe the easiest DCEU film to enjoy is Shazam.
Yeah, it's pretty Marvelized.
Now I haven't seen what's it called? The Wonder Woman movies.
Oh, yeah.
But it does seem to be the best non-Zack Snyder. So Shazam does seem to be the best non-Zack Snyder DCEU film.
It was entertaining. It was fun. Although, I, as kind of a principle, hated the the end scene where he's just like, oh yeah, all you kids can have powers now.
Yeah, but I mean, it leads up to Black Adam, which, by the way, have you seen the trailer?
Have you seen the trailer for what?
Have you seen the trailer for Black Adam?
Yeah, it looks stupid.
It looks
Why is
so
the
good.
Rock
It
everywhere?
looks so
Why?
good.
I can't take the Rock seriously. I just can't. That's such bad casting. I don't get that he's a big hulking character or person.
I kind of
I can't take him seriously. I just can't.
Well, I think it's gonna work, but I think
back in the jungle where he belongs.
I think it'll work. But you're right. Like, it's borderline. It's not excellent casting. I think it works though, because like The Rock is supposed to be like this like insanely strong and powerful and charismatic individual. And you've kind of put him in a character that has all that.
Black Adam?
Yeah.
Since
I mean,
Black
did you
Adam,
see him hold a missile in his hand, catching
that
it
doesn't
as
make him charismatic.
Well,
I don't care
I'm
about
just
the
waiting for him to
feet.
say, "Let's get ready to rumble," and then like stomp on the ground and cause an earthquake.
Let's get ready.
Stomps on the ground and causes an earthquake.
Oh dear.
Because I started earlier, I'm probably gonna go to get off early. I'm probably gonna go to bed and like, well, not go to bed, but like I'll probably sign off of Minecraft in like 45 minutes or so.
Sure.
Did you know I did my first collab stream with like, I guess someone who's not like a like an RL, like a friend of mine in real life, this weekend? There's
Did
like
I know?
Yeah.
No.
There's like a streamer on YouTube whose name is like The Liberator. He's got like 4,000 subs.
You mentioned him.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He let me on his stream and we played Minecraft together. So that was nice.
Fun. Yeah, last time I streamed Nexomon, I had like one more viewer than normal. The one person may have been Josh, because he'll see it every here and there.
Oh, what, Bush Monkey?
Huh?
I know I was in chat once and I saw that me and Bush Monkey were in there together.
I don't think it was Bush Monkey.
I saw Bush Monkey in the stream though.
I was playing Nexomon and it was on YouTube, so I don't think he.
No, he's got an account. It's called Bush Monkey 420.
Chat to see if it was anybody, but
I noticed because you didn't respond to anything I said. You were
hearing it.
I noticed you didn't respond to anything I said, so I was like, oh, I guess he's not looking at chat.
Yeah, like I kept looking over and I tried to scroll down, but the chat just wouldn't show up. I couldn't figure it out. It's like I thought maybe it's off, but why is it off? And then afterwards I looked at the analytics and it said there were comments. So like, wait, what? No.
Yeah, I was asking if it's like, is Nexomon like basically Pokemon?
I mean, it's the same general idea of the pocket monster going around catching things, but it doesn't have gym leaders like Pokemon does.
Gym
it's
leader?
not about being
What's a gym leader?
very best.
See, one thing is like I don't know
It's
all
more
of the
story.
Pokemon language. So like, what is a gym leader?
So I guess like the basic gist of any Pokemon game is you are a kid who gets first Pokemon. Your objective from this point is to go to each different main town that has these things called gyms with a gym leader. These gym leaders are basically just good Pokemon trainers. And then you have to beat them. That'll give you a badge. By collecting all these badges, you can go and fight the Elite Four, beat the Elite Four, you win the game. Along the way, there'll usually be some sort of hijinks with some bad guy team named according to the theme. And then there's not a whole lot of story to go with it, but they'll say, oh, I am bad guy. Come at me, little child.
So you're saying that a Pokemon movie wouldn't really work well?
there already are several Pokemon movies.
Did they work well?
And the animated Pokemon. Are you not aware of the Pokemon show? It's been running for like 20, 30 seasons.
Oh yeah, it's like a kid show. I mean, like something like live action.
Oh, live action? No. There's Detective Pikachu, and they did reasonably well.
That doesn't sound like the plot of Pokemon, though, from how you described
it. It's not. It's based off of a side game called Detective Pikachu.
It's based on a side game?
Yes. There is almost like a spin-off called Detective Pikachu, and it's more or less based on that concept.
I did not know that.
Of all things, though, I would say Detective Pikachu, it was, I don't know, a solid C, maybe B tier movie. But it did do the best job out of any movie that's ever attempted in live action at integrating Pokemon into the real world. And it's not so much in where they put them and say, oh yeah, I could totally put Pokemon in X place, as much as they looked like they could be there. They didn't feel off.
Wait, I haven't seen Detective Pikachu, but I remember from the trailers it felt like something, and I remember I now realize what it feels like. It feels like a PG-13 version of Ted.
Ted?
Wait.
The stuffed bear thing?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's actually really good.
I can say with near certainty that it's not.
Yeah, tonally, you have a bear who's like kind of not 100% down with like how all social stuff works, but people find him to be pretty cool. The fluffiness is really well animated. I think the fluffiness is really what stands out to me. They actually were like they do look kind of similar, like with like the how they did the fur, which is
maybe
good.
maybe the look is similar, but like plot and
talking animal
like very different. Detective Pikachu is, I need to find my father, and this bad guy's trying to do bad guy things.
Yeah, they're a little different.
And then the father turns out to be the Pikachu or something like that. The mind was transferred, I forget. Oh yeah, nah. Next one I would say is a bit more story driven than it is training your Pokemon to be the very best. Say Pokemon, the story is kind of the second idea, and the Pokemon are the first idea.
By the way, I liked your narration of the plot.
Oh.
You're doing. That was really fun.
Just did that on a whim. It's like, you know what? We're just going to have some fun with this game. And because I remembered Nexomon, the first one, was kind of chaotic and silly. So I was like, you know what? I want to bet on that, and we'll go for it.
Yeah, I was
Boy,
like, this
was it a good bet.
I was like, this is really engaging. This is great. Also, how is this farmer at like max level farmer, but like a level 1 novice? Or is that just me?
Huh?
Like, usually don't they stop accepting payment for bread? I literally just bought 64, like a whole 64 stack of bread from this dude.
Well, that's because he offers 6 every purchase. It's more purchase based as opposed to quantity.
But like, usually they stop at a certain amount of purchases, right?
Yeah.
Like, usually can't just go and get a 64 stack of bread from one villager.
Well, if they offer 6, I find that usually like 15 or 16 sales is usually the max. So it'd only take 10 sales, well, 11 sales for you to get to 64.
Or is it based on resources? So like, if he like, I don't know, gets more wheat, then he'll have more to sell? Or something?
I forget how the whole restocking system works. I'm still a little fuzzy on villagers. Boing. pumpkins and watermelons everywhere I go. Why are you trading with these villagers?
Why?
Huh? Yeah.
To get my bread up, man. I got like 64.
Get my bread up. Don't you
Yeah, I
have
know.
villagers?
To feed food to my villagers. Because I'm not making enough from commerce with them to kind of afford to feed them as much as I want to.
Do you not have any villagers to sell bread at your place?
I do, but I don't. Most of them aren't selling it anymore.
Like they just won't sell it?
Yeah, they won't sell it.
Like, is it an option still or no?
It's an option, but I think I just maxed out.
Huh. Also, have you ever been in this place?
No, I haven't. What is this place?
A minor recreation of the deep dark.
Oh wait, I think you actually showed me this place last time I was on.
Maybe.
Are we not supposed to step on those things?
You're not supposed to if we're actually in the deep dark, but since we're since these can't spawn the warden, we're fine.
Oh, nice. That's the thing that you guys actually like took some of that.
Oh yeah, it would have been a pain if we lost it all. Now people can practice. The noobs will have a way.
Oh, that's what this is. It's like a practicing room.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just like, oh, you never been to the deep dark? Kind of what it's like, except very condensed.
here's shallow, low-level light.
Actually, it is kind of darker in here than it has been in the past. That's good. For some reason, when I first built this place, it just wouldn't get dark inside.
Let's see. I think I'm actually gonna sign off. I'm tired, and also I need to use the bathroom, so I think I might as well sign off. Then. I'm sorry I missed you playing earlier.
Oh no, that was fine. I was on maybe 3 or 5 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, I noticed you seem to be on for a bit longer. Did what was I gonna say? Oh, do we know when we're like the weekly Minecraft thing is gonna be?
We're not entirely sure. It's partially up in the air now that Cedarville classes have started up again.
Right.
So that would change things for Noah. Though I guess you, me, Josh, and Andrew would still be able to do our own thing.
Yeah.
On a different day if we wanted or needed.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So, yeah. So I'm still going for Tuesday. I'm still going to assume that we'll have something. At least to know Andrew will be available on the Tuesday, or at least in theory he will be.
Tuesday, okay.
So we can still go for that, and then we'll see if Noah jumps on, and we'll have to ask him if he has a rough idea. But it could be a couple weeks until they've kind of settled in and figured out their schedules until we can set a consistent time.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if we get more people on the realm.
Yeah, just keep me posted because I definitely want to know. Because I want to be able to be on more consistently and also carve out time in my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, I'll see you around, man.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah, nice playing with you.
Later, Mark.
All right. Oh my goodness. That was fun. That's pretty cool. It's good to be able to get in some typical React content, which honestly I've kind of missed doing like my normal React content stuff. I need to go back to doing just my normal React streams. But it mixed a little bit of commentary in there. Like I think that like the intro of the stream of having the commentary focusing on like the whole Cartoon Network situation, I think that like make for a pretty good video. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm also uploading once a week clips of some streaming advice that came from the Liberator, because he was on stream last week during my Ask Me Anything, Just Chatting, Call In Live show, and me and him just went through a whole lot of stuff about our production, our process, how we do everything. And yeah, there were a lot of good things, a lot of good takeaways. Some things that might surprise you if you actually, follow, conventional YouTube content creation stuff. You gotta, do what matches, who you are as a creator and the content that you want to make. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling. This is kind of a long stream, especially for how tired I was. It's like 2.5 hours. That's crazy. But anyways. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I will see you all next time, consensually, of course.